Alright, in this video I will be cleaning the flame sensor on my furnace. I'm using Scotch-Brite pad. I know a lot of videos will tell you to use steel wool, that kind of thing. I'm using basically the least aggressive thing I can. So Scotch-Brite is plastic. And I'm using a 1/4 inch socket and extension. And I got some gloves for when I'm cleaning it. You can see I've already got the upper door off my furnace. And I'm going to show you where the flame sensor is located on my furnace. You can see that little metal rod just forward of the burners. And you can see that it looks fairly green. I'll kind of point at it with the socket. It's that little fella right there. It's on the far left side in front of the burner. And obviously the flame hits it. If you look on the other side, there's the igniter, which does look different. And when I turn the furnace on, I'll show you what the igniter looks like. So the first thing I'm going to do before touching anything is turn off the furnace. My flame sensor is fairly easy to get at. You could just reach right in there with the 1/4 inch socket and remove it. It's just one screw. Once that's out, you just pull it out by hand and be careful not to hit the sensor on anything. And you also don't want to touch the sensor with your hands. There's a porcelain part of the sensor. You can touch that, and then if you're, touching the wire and stuff, that's fine. But you just don't want to touch the actual sensor portion because you don't want things like oils or greases from your hand touching the metal and burning on later. So you can see this one's pretty green, so fairly corroded. I did remove the wire off screen. So no real technique I'm using. You see I'm using gloves again, that way if I touch the actual sensor, I'm not going to get any of my greasy little fingers on it. And then really I'm just giving it a light scrub with the Scotch-Brite and make sure I get it 360 degrees and the entire length of the sensor. If you're using steel wool, I believe the finest steel wool is what's recommended. So that'd be like a 0.00 steel wool. Ultimately, what you want to avoid is scratching the sensor, because obviously that'll cause carbon buildup to occur faster and it could throw the sensor off as well. So use the least aggressive item that will clean the carbon deposits off your sensor. And I'll try to get the camera to focus on this. Now for the reinstallation, really just the opposite of the removal. You can see I put the electrical connector onto the sensor first because it is a little bit deeper in there. And in my furnace, there's a little hole where the sensor slides through. So I just slide the sensor through that. And then there's only one screw, so that's all you got to put in. Now it does have to go at a specific angle in front of the actual jet so that it's in the path of the flame. However, once that one screws in, it is repositioned right in front of that jet again, and that's right where you want it. So it's kind of foolproof that way. You don't have to know the angle to go in on my model. However, if you have a different model, take note of the position of the sensor when you remove it and make sure that that sensor goes back into the same position in front of the burner when you reinstall it. And you can see on the right hand side, this one's a 2-wire igniter, so it does look quite a bit different than the flame sensor. Once everything's back together, you can turn the power back on, and there's everything spooling back up, and you can see that the flame sensor is right in the path of the flame. So the reason I was doing this is because my furnace was short cycling, so it would turn off before the house reached full temperature. And this actually doesn't fix it. So this is more of a troubleshooting step for me. However, if you have a furnace that's doing a short cycle, basically turning on and off frequently, this could be your issue. And obviously I'm going to put the upper door back on the furnace. What fixes my problem is just turning the furnace off of economy mode. The previous owners must have had the fan speed set to the absolute lowest. So it was causing the furnace to shut down due to overheating. Turning it right back to a normal fan speed has fixed the problem, and I haven't seen it overheat since I've just flicked the one switch to put it into a regular mode. Anyway, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.